Interesting people saying interesting things, and it begins yesterday on Pat McAfee's show. Shams was on, and he was sort of teasing what he expects to be a spectacular NBA offseason.
I think this offseason might be the most craziest ever. You have the parity in the league.
Sucks.
It's so thin right now. Like, as far as the thin line of what you can win a championship or you might be falling into the lottery. And I think the ability to go out there and improve your team and get there to championship level, I think that's on the minds of everyone around the league.
Well, Winman, you're one of the people around the league. Should we be, what's that?
Ever.
A crazy offseason.
When we first launched the show, we had one of the craziest with Kawhi Leonard and KD and all that.
Wendy will remember 2010.
100% right.
Like there's nothing crazier than that.
Well, and that was the decision, and there have been others. But are we looking for, Winman, are you anticipating what could be a crazy offseason?
Yes. So first, there's not going to be a lot of free agency. There's only 2 All-NBA players who can be free agents, James Harden and LeBron. I don't even know if LeBron's going to opt out. I don't think Harden's going anywhere. So this is all going to be basically through largely the trade market. First up will be Giannis. Whether or not he leaves Milwaukee, that will be a big thing. And then after, and I really do think Kevin Durant's going to have to wait for Giannis because there's going to be some teams that are interested in both. And then KD. And then, of course, then you're going to say who. Well, all I'm going to say is this. 2 years ago, I would argue the biggest and most impactful trade that happened was Drew Holiday going to Boston. We didn't know that that was possibly going to happen until Dame Lillard got traded to Milwaukee. So what I think you're going to see is a number of teams looking to aggressively either upgrade their rosters or offload money, and the series of ripple effects from what could be a Giannis trade and then a KD trade could be wide-ranging. You could have a number of teams reacting to that with star players becoming available. Shams and I have talked about this. We potentially are going to see the most impactful week of the NBA offseason in the draft week, not necessarily free agent week, because the action is going to happen via trade around the draft and the picks.
Okay, so that's the last week of June. So prepare for the windy fingers up in the air as all these deals start getting done. And obviously, Chiney, you're there with NBA Today every single day, you and Malika and the crew talking about what to expect this summer. And as he said, Giannis is where the focus will begin. What are your expectations, Chiney, as far as Giannis is concerned?
First and foremost, I really believe that Giannis is doing his due diligence by testing the waters to see what might be out there if he chooses to leave. Because right now, what I've heard, behind the scenes is that this guy is loyal. He loves Milwaukee. He loves being a guy that has built up, literally winning almost every award in Milwaukee. But if he does choose to go, now I'm looking at circumstances that, as Sham said, someone that is on the precipice of winning a championship, a contender. I know we're in the middle of the playoffs, teams like in Texas, even Golden State. I talk about my Houston Rockets. People mentioned the Spurs. I don't even know if New York would take, let me be clear. 29 teams will take a look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. Mm-hmm. But the fact is that this is going to be an offseason where the game can be changed from star players even trickling down.
All I'm going to say is when you live in Greece and you go to Greece for the entire offseason, pretty nice. When you decide to take vacations with your family to both New York and San Francisco and just walk around town, I find that interesting. Just looking to see how life is to live in these different cities.
Do it,
I'm not saying it means
do it.
But
why would he do that?
I just two random locations
why
to
would
go
he do
away.
that?
Why is Giannis? Very interesting.
Why would he do
very
that?
strange vacation. Very unusual vacation plans. No one goes to New York for vacation, except everyone in the world. But Giannis to the Knicks. Who says no?
I think the big question that you find if the Knicks lose Game 5.
Yes, if the Knicks get knocked out, we're going to hear a lot of Giannis talk.
You're going to hear a lot of, can we win this way with Karl Anthony Towns? Do we have enough assets? Now, look, I don't know what they have to trade for it, but do you take a swing? I'd much rather have Giannis and Jalen Brunson than Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns if you could pull it off. That would need to take a guy like Giannis saying, I want to be in New York, find a way to make it happen.
I'll answer your question. The Bucks will say no. Because the Knicks, what do they have to offer? They'd have to get a third team involved. They have very limited picks to offer. They have contracts that could match. They have high-level players, but is that what the Bucks are looking for? Or are they either looking for again, the Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic kind of thing, where I'm getting a superstar, or are they looking to completely blow it up and reset the franchise? That remains to be seen.
And then, Shanae, he mentioned that Kevin Durant, Wendy did, that KD will probably go sometime after Giannis goes. I guess I would ask the question, just watching day in and day out, is KD still a player that you just plug him into a place and you automatically say, well, yeah, they can win the whole thing right now because they have Kevin Durant? Does he still have that at this age?
I say yes, but also it has to be in a unique role. Because I know a lot of people, and I'm going through the lens of my personal experience with Houston, looking at the vantage there, they have a really good young core, and they want a piece that can continue to win, not just for 1 year, but the foreseeable future. Being in his mid-30s to late, 30s, I think that sort of affects the timeline. So if he's asked to do less, but he's still that generational talent, that is a circumstance that I think is advantageous to Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant's a guy that you would put on a team, like you said, that is right there, right? That needs the offense, but is right there because it is the smaller window because of his age.
He's 36. He'll be 37 before next season begins. Wendy, give us a final word there on Kevin Durant's future.
Yeah, I think Durant is not a player you build around at this point. He's the piece that is the final piece, not that you build around. And the Suns are in a tough situation because they don't control their draft, so they need quality pieces back. Both Milwaukee and Phoenix, my final word here, these are not teams that are looking to go through a 3-year rebuild. They don't control their drafts. On the other side of these trades, they need to still be competitive.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here. So it's official. You have the Knicks, who just beat the Indiana Pacers, to move it to Game 6 in Indiana. That's going to be a tough matchup for sure. OKC Thunder waiting for June 5th, Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Now, we have that, but in the lurks, we have NBA draft coming up. Then we have NBA free agency coming up. Now, why do I mention that? Because one name stands out and another one, a couple of other ones here and there. Let me just go by these 4 names. You have Julius Randle, Miles Turner, actually another one, Naz Reid, and then you have KD, and then you have Giannis. Giannis is the big fish here. Because Giannis is in his prime. Not saying that KD is no good, but Giannis has got 2 years left. So he can actually dominate a game. He can dominate a series. He can dominate a conference. Where is he going to go? Because there's some rumblings, rumors that he wants to be traded, but he hasn't requested the trade. Let's just get that out there. Let's just get that out there right now. He has not requested a trade, and now you have these rumors, and you know how NBA rumors go, right? There's always some truth to them. He was at Golden State at Steph Curry's party. He was the only non-Warrior there, right? Then you have him in the streets of New York walking with his family. So, the rumors. I know people are going to say, oh, it's just rumors. I don't know what you're talking about, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, now you have the Milwaukee Bucks in the driver's seat. Why? Because, in the video, it said, if you're Giannis, why would you want to go to the Western Conference? Well, guess what? You have no choice in this. You have no leverage. You got 2 years on your contract. If you're a free agent, I can get that point that, hey, you want to go to this place, you want to go to that place, but he has no option for that. He does not drive the situation. The situation drives him because he can only get traded. He can't sign anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I know everybody's saying it's a players' league now. They can dictate where they want to go. But you know what? Look what happened with the Mavs and the Lakers. If they can send out Luka to the Lakers, and you saw his expression when he got traded. You saw his expression the first time that he faced the Dallas Mavericks. So who's to say that the Milwaukee Bucks won't trade him to freaking Boston or Toronto, whatever, right? So 3 teams we're going to talk about right now, because they mentioned the 3 teams. They mentioned the 3 teams, and one is the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics actually did, fairly well, considering all factors that came into play. Jason Tatum was injured, Achilles tendon, rupture, the list goes on. Now you have a new owner that doesn't want to spend that much money. There's rumors that he wants to trade Jrue Holiday. There's rumors that he wants to trade KCP. If you want Giannis, why wouldn't you actually entertain that trade, right? I mean, if you're Milwaukee, you'd want Jaylen Brown and maybe another person, maybe to match salaries. I don't know, right? Because Jaylen Brown, I think he makes like $66 million a year. I don't know, but clearly that is what's being discussed as a rumor. I'm not 100% sure that that's going to happen, because Jaylen Brown is legit, and why would you want to trade him? But like I said, Luka got traded, and now anything's possible. That is Boston Celtics. They're going to be without Jason Tatum, so they have to entertain and consider all options. Now, moving on to the Miami Heat. Again, what they talked about. Miami Heat, what the hell can you offer? You know what I mean? You really can't offer that much. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, that's not going to cut the cake, right? You have a couple other star rookies, that's still not going to cut the cake. If you throw in Bam, that's still not going to cut the cake, right? There's got to be another side to this. So if you're Milwaukee, you're probably thinking like, what's in it for me? Now move on to the Spurs. I mentioned this a month ago. Spurs have the best trade package that anyone can think of. I mean, if Houston wanted it, Houston could get in there too. They have the assets. I just don't know if they're going to do it, right? But the San Antonio Spurs, they have the number 2 pick, the number 14 pick. I know what the video says. They're like, oh, don't include Stephen Castle. I'm like, if I'm Milwaukee, are you out of your freaking mind? I want Stephen Castle, the Rookie of the Year. I want those 2 picks. I want another couple, 4 or 5 picks down the line kind of thing, which the San Antonio Spurs have. So they have the ability to give that up for Giannis. Take a look at the Spurs. If the Spurs were somehow able to keep Stephen Castle, you're looking at Wemby, you're looking at De'Aaron Fox, you're looking at Stephen Castle, and you're looking at Giannis. That is the deadliest 4 in the Western Conference right now, if that were to go down. Because now, if you're the Spurs, you're looking at what's going on in OKC. And you're like, how the hell am I going to compete with that? And you cannot sit on these picks in Wemby's prime. You cannot sit on these picks in De'Aaron Fox's prime. You have to do something about it. Stephen Castle is just a rookie. Like, that's fine. I get it, right? But you cannot sit around, because the OKC Thunder are like a monster, right? They are built to last for a few years. This is going to be, if they play well, potential 2 or 3 rings. Potentially, if they play well. It depends on who they're facing and stuff like that. But that is the case. So where does Giannis end up? That is the question. I just listed 3 as opposed to whatever the video said. I get it. I listed 3, but is there any more? Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think. Leave a comment saying exactly where you think he's going to land and for who. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports.